Hello friends, I'm again here to discuss the model answer for yesterday's question. So now let us directly go to the yesterday's question, which was from Western philosophy, and we will discuss first the model answer and then we will see what is today's question. So the question pertaining to Western philosophy which was given yesterday was compare Plato and Aristotle on knowledge and reality. So this is the question which needs to be answered in 300 words. So definitely now first we have to describe Plato and Aristotle's conceptions of knowledge and reality, and then we have to compare how they are different, how they are similar, and then we have to critically evaluate the whole idea, and then finally we have to conclude. So this will be the format actually, which we usually, I mean, it should be format in almost all the questions, but in some questions, yes, some different little depending on the nature of the question, we do differ. So now first we will describe what is knowledge and reality as far as, see, knowledge and reality, I mean, one is knowledge means epistemology, reality means metaphysics. So basically you have to compare the metaphysics and epistemology of both Plato and Aristotle. So in a way, this is the essence of whole chapter actually which you have to write here for Plato and Aristotle. So now let us see how this can be put in 300 words. I have attempted to do that. So let us see that. Now Plato and Aristotle, central figures of classical Western philosophy, proposed divergent theories of knowledge and reality, reflecting contrasting metaphysical commitments. So, in first paragraph itself, we are telling that their theories of knowledge as well as reality, that is epistemology and metaphysics or ontology. Ontology and metaphysics are almost same. I mean, 100% not same, but yes, sometimes they are used interchangeably. So, the metaphysics and epistemology is uh, not same, divergent, and contrasting commitments are there, contrasting theories they have given. So in first paragraph, we are telling that in very brief. Now, what is Plato's conception? Let us see. Now here we will be using some Greek words also, which they have used, their writings also, books also. And then in criticism, we will be seeing who are the critics who have criticized them and how they have come up with the negative points or strengths of their theory. So all those things we will see, quoting various philosophers also. So Plato's conception in the works like Republic, Phaedo, and Phaedrus, Plato advanced the theory of forms. So Plato's main theory, one of the main theory, most important theories, theory of forms or theory of ideas, positing two realms, the intelligible world of eternal forms and sensory world of change. So he has come up with theory of forms. One is eternal forms of intelligible world, and another is sensory world, where we only experience the copies or of those eternal forms and not actually the eternal forms. So true knowledge is recollection of these immutable forms by the rational soul which pre-exists the body. So this is basically in a way very brief Plato's ontology as well as epistemology also. How knowledge is obtained by the soul which is pre-exists in the soul, and the through reason the soul gets the knowledge of these true forms, immutable forms which exist, and the reality is in the form of immutable forms. So this is basically Plato's main theory of uh, ontology as well as epistemology. Now, one example we will see. For example, justice or beauty in the material world is a reflection of their perfect form. So, as I told, nothing perfect is observed in real world. Real world is only reflection or copy of what is original. That was Plato's theory. The original forms lie somewhere else, and the world is only a copy of those forms. So this is what Plato's theory. Sense experience yields only opinion. Opinion in Greek, doxa. Reason leads to truth. As I told, eternal forms can be known only through reason, that too by soul. Sense experience yields only opinion, and opinion means that only the copies which are available of real forms we can know through senses. So this is what Plato has told. Now, Plato has also given allegory of cave. This is very important because this also needs to be mentioned here. We will not go in detail because just passing reference we will do just to show that show to the examiner that we know about that also. So Plato's allegory of cave illustrates the ascent from ignorance to knowledge. So this is important. So knowledge, how it is obtained, or how from ignorance one gets knowledge, is basically illustrated in cave theory. I mean, cave you know already, because if all the, people were chained in a cave and they could see only whatever inside the cave. One fellow went outside the cave, he could see the outside world and then he could describe, but nobody believed. So all those things is in the allegory of cave. So you can read it separately. So, but this theory is how knowledge is obtained by passing the ignorance. This is illustrated by Plato. Now, what is Aristotle's conception? Let us go through that. In contrast, Aristotle in works like Metaphysics, now these are the works of Aristotle, Metaphysics, Posterior Analytics, and Nicomachean Ethics, rejected Platonic dualism. So, Aristotle has rejected Plato's theory of dualism. He says that reality is constituted by individual substance, composite of matter and form. And he has given the theory of hylomorphism. Forms are immanent and not transcendent. He says that in a matter or in a reality, both form and matter exist together. So this is what the theory of Aristotle. So he is a basically realist, and Plato in a way is idealist. So that also is very important. So Plato's theory leans towards idealism. Aristotle's theory leads towards realism. So Aristotle's theory is hylomorphism. Forms are immanent, not transcendent. And knowledge arises through empirical observation and induction, enabling the intellect to abstract universals. So this is the theory of knowledge for Aristotle. He formalized logic in the Organon, providing tools for deductive reasoning. So this is another work of Aristotle in which he has formalized logic. Now, what are the major differences? Let us see. In ontology, Plato posits transcendent forms. Aristotle grounds form within particulars. So this is the one difference which already has been described in previous paragraph. In very brief, it has been written. Epistemology, what is the difference? Plato is rationalist. Aristotle leans towards empiricism. Because Aristotle says that through senses also we can know what is the matter and what is the form. Aristotle says no, only through reason form can be known, and through sensory experience only its duplicate or some copy is known. That's all. Then methodology. What is methodology? How is it different? Plato relies on dialectic. Aristotle emphasizes observation and syllogism. So this is these are the main differences between Plato and Aristotle as far as knowledge and reality is concerned. Now let us critically evaluate the whole theory of Plato and Aristotle. Now Aristotle himself, who was disciple of Plato, criticized Plato. So Aristotle critiques Plato's forms through third man argument, questioning the logic of infinite regress. So this is first criticism which we will quote here, that Aristotle himself has criticized Plato's theory of forms, giving third man argument and saying that this involves the logic of infinite regress. Now, Plato's word of forms is criticized for being disconnected from empirical reality. This is Karl Popper, another philosopher. In his book, The Open Society, he has criticized. Then Aristotle's teleological worldview faces critique. So Aristotle's view also has been criticized by modern science. That is, Francis Bacon he has criticized for lacking experimental rigor. So this is criticism by Francis Bacon of Aristotle's teleological worldview. Then Bertrand Russell has criticized both. He says neither thinker adequately addresses abstract domains like mathematics. Now, there are some Indian parallels also, because I keep on telling you have to mention if some parallels can be drawn. So even though passing reference, you need to mention so that your knowledge will be broad-based knowledge you are having, in-depth knowledge you are having can be displayed to the examiner. So here, Indian parallels, Plato's forms resemble Advaita Vedanta, Nirguna Brahma. Advaita Vedanta is of Sankaracharya and Nirguna Brahma. It represents like that. While Aristotle aligns with Nyaya Vaisesik, realism and logic, that is Gautama and Kanad. So this is passing reference we can make just to show that how Western philosophy compares with Indian philosophy. Now let us see conclusion. Plato idealized knowledge through eternal realities. Aristotle naturalized it through structured inquiry, together defining the metaphysical and epistemic contours of Western thought. So, I mean, basically, not only Western, throughout the world, Plato and Aristotle philosophy has impacted, and every, I mean, whether it is Indian philosophy, whether it is some other country's philosophy, has been affected by Plato and Aristotle, and either somebody is supporting, somebody is criticizing. So, basically, this can be the conclusion. So, this completes the discussion of the model answer for yesterday's question. Now, today we will be, I mean, dealing with the question from Indian philosophy, and this is the question. What is the role of Shruti and Anubhava as pramanas in Indian philosophy? Now, this needs to be answered in 300 words. Tomorrow, we'll be giving the model answer. I will read out the question once again. What is the role of Shruti and Anubhava as pramanas in Indian philosophy? Now, this question we'll be answering tomorrow, and we will discussing actually model answer for this question tomorrow. Now, thanks a lot for watching today's video. Thank you to all the uh, viewers. Thanks once again. We end it.